Okay, you should see me now. Welcome. Good morning, my social media superstars. This is a picture of a face of determination. Okay, I am determined this morning and bring you this awesome information. I am your host, Taria Hodge of Social Media Saturdays. Thank you for joining me for another fantastic and amazing episode of Social Media Saturdays. Okay, so if you were trying to join me earlier, you probably knew or know or realized that I had a little issue with my feed this morning, but nonetheless, I am here and I am ready to rock and roll. So this morning on today's episode, we are talking about analytics. So if you have been following and keeping in contact with or keeping up with Social Media Saturdays, you know that what I started to do the end of the summer, early part of the fall, is break the social media down into pillars, okay? And things of what you should be doing, things that you should be paying special attention to as you lay out your social media strategy. And so this month, the month of November, we are talking about social media analytics. Okay, so today's episode, it's all about how and what you should be tracking, on social media, because the big thing is you want to make sure that you're able to get a return on your investment. And a lot of times when we think about return on investment, we go straight to thinking about the return on investment on the monetary things. If you're investing in ads or you're doing paid social media, how do you get a return on your money from that? And that's very important, very critical that you are able to answer that question and know what your ROI looks like. But also you want to make sure that you are getting an ROI, return on investment on your time. And you also want to make sure that you get a return on investment on the activity that you put in on social media. So that is what we are going to talk about a little bit today. So if you are joining Social Media Saturdays for the very first time, I am your host, Taria Hodge, and I am also the owner of Mayaba Consulting Services, the founder of Social Media Saturdays, which is an online broadcast platform dedicated to helping entrepreneurs, business owners, and business leaders grow their business through social media strategic planning. So today's like every other Social Media Saturdays, before we get into the meat and potatoes of our broadcast today, I'm going to ask who all is out there. So I definitely want to know who's out there, who's joining in on the conversation this morning. So if you're watching, online, maybe you are watching directly from your desktop, or maybe you are watching, from your cell phone or your iPad. In the comment section below the video, just take a minute to let me know that you are here, okay? So in the comment section, just type in Taria, I am here, and type in your first name, type in your last name. And I also want to know what part of the world you are hailing from this morning, okay? So just let me know what city, what state, what country you are watching from this morning. And I see that Diane Smith is, one of our social media superstars, and she's on here faithfully, every Saturday morning. And Diane Smith is also from Assisted Living Finders. Awesome service. So if you have a loved one and you are searching for care for your loved one, you definitely want to make sure that you connect with Diane Smith, okay? So once again, tell us your first name, tell us your last name, tell us a little bit of, well, first of all, tell us where you're watching from. And then the next thing that I want you to do is tell us who and how do you serve in your business? So if you're out there, you're watching, and you're an entrepreneur, you're a business leader, business owner, okay, we definitely want to know who do you serve in your business and how do you serve? So make sure you take a minute to also share that information in the comment section. And why do I do this or ask you to do this every Saturday when we get on. So people come to me all the time and they say it, Tari, I really don't understand. Like, you get on here on social media Saturdays, and one of the things that I always ask people to do, is to share the information. Okay, so how does that help you in your business? And I'll tell you exactly how it helps me in my business. Okay, so one of the biggest things that I always want to make sure, that I'm doing is being a resource. Okay, so not only do I want to come on here on social media Saturdays and deliver great information that would allow you to grow your business strategically using social media, but I also want to make sure that you have the opportunity to connect with other dynamic business professionals as well. So if you have not heard me say this, I'm going to say this again. Our Social Media Saturdays community is a safe place. Okay, this is a safe place where entrepreneurs can meet. We usually meet every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, and ask questions. And we also ask questions that would help you grow your business in social media, and I provide these amazing topics, right? But also, if you are out there in the group and you share your information, you never know, who might be looking for what you have to offer. So let me say that again. You never know who might be looking for what you have to offer. So that's one of the main reasons why, I ask you to make sure that every Saturday when you come on here, to make sure you tell us your first name, you tell us your last name, you tell us what part of the world you are hailing from. Okay, so whether you're in the US, you're in Canada, South Africa, you're in the Caribbean, shout out to all my Caribbean folks. Okay, so if you're watching, let us know, exactly where you are, what you do, and who do you serve in your business. And then lastly, I'm just going to ask you to share the link to your Facebook business page. So in the comment section below, as you share what you do in your business, how you help, how you serve, we also want to know how we can connect with you. Okay, so if you are out there, you're listening, you're watching, please in the comment section, type in the link to your Facebook business page. That way we can easily connect with you. And then if you don't have a Facebook business page, you could always share the link to your website as well. And I see that Diane has shared that she's out there, and she is, like I said, the owner and founder of the Assisted Living Finder app, which is, wonderful service that would help you if you are providing care, for your loved ones. She's able to connect you with assisted living communities all around the U.S. and not just in the particular area of the Maryland, D.C. area. Diane's service is nationwide as well. Okay, so once again, Diane, thank you for jumping on and sharing your love with me today, like you always do. It's always a pleasure to have you on Social Media Saturdays. Okay, all right. So today we are going to jump into our topic, in which I mentioned we're talking about how and what to share on social media. Okay, so I want to start off today's session with just sharing, 5 interesting statistics that I came across as I was preparing for Social Media Saturdays. So I had the opportunity to take a look at an article from Social Media Today. And in this article, it shared 5 stats or 4 stats that I'm going to share with you today. And I thought that those stats were very interesting. And I said, you know what? This is a perfect topic for us to do a segment on Social Media Saturdays. Okay. So 56% of marketers rely only on engagement metrics to measure their success on social media. So 50% of people who are entrepreneurs or business leaders who are using social media, okay, they only rely on engagement. And, when I saw this, I kind of smiled, a little bit, because if you were on here with me last week, I made a statement, okay, that engagement has become Facebook currency. Okay. So as we start to do a lot of stuff, on Facebook and promote our businesses, and, hopefully everyone has a Facebook business page. One of the biggest concerns we've noticed is that if you're posting from your business page, you might have noticed that the engagement, on your Facebook page is like minimum, right? And that's like one of the biggest things that people are struggling with. How do I, boost up the engagement on my Facebook business page? Because once again, Facebook, has an algorithm. Please don't ask me to explain what the algorithm is, but I know it's there and it exists. And one of the things that Facebook is always conscious about doing is making sure that its users, okay, are happy. So Facebook takes a look at the content that you're sharing, on your business page, and it says, you know what, if this content is engaging, okay, maybe you might be doing videos like I'm doing here for Social Media Saturdays, and the topic is engaging. And when I say engagement, this is how Facebook measures engagement, okay? Facebook measures engagements by the amount of reactions that you get on your content. And when I say reactions, I'm talking about not just the like button, but also the hearts, okay, the smiley faces, the thumbs up for the like button, even the angry faces, okay? So that's really interesting that Facebook is also tracking when you do, when you post content, how people are engaging with the content and what type of emotions or reactions they're giving your content. Okay. They also track engagement by how people are also commenting and how people are sharing out your content. So once they find that you are posting content and people are really engaging with your content, what Facebook algorithm does is says, hey, this is really engaging content. I'm going to open up, or we're going to open up this content to more people because it seems to be very interesting. The people who have seen it so far, they have a great reaction to it. Woohoo. So this might be a topic, or this might be something that more people will be interested in. Okay. So, and this is, a good metric, to measure, but I want to also share with you, it's not the only thing that you should be looking at when it comes to your social media analytics. Okay. Second, statistics. 21% of people focus on conversion data to improve the value from social media. Now, this is huge. And I have to say this, this is the statistic or the analytic, okay, that you really should be focusing on. You really should be focusing, on your conversions, because conversions is what tells you, what your return on investment is. Okay, so, and like I mentioned before, sometimes when we think about return on investment, we seem to only think about the monetary part. But you know what? It might be, you're driving traffic to your website. You want people to leave from social media, go to your website, and take a particular action on your website. So how do you track that on social media? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. So 31% of marketers say that they have challenges trying social media, or tying their social media efforts to their business goals. And I talk about this all the time. So as a social media strategist, I say this all the time. When you take a look at your social media goals, or you take a look at your business goals, you should not have business goals that are out here to the left. And then you're out here on social media taking or doing activity, and the activity that you're doing on social media, aren't in alignment with your overall business goals. And so therefore, social media becomes just another activity that you're doing, and you're struggling to find out exactly, is it working? How is it fitting into my plan? Does it even make sense for me to do at all? And I always say this all the time. One of the very interesting things, as I work with business leaders such as yourself, I always have to ask the questions. As you take a look at your business, what are your goals that you're trying to achieve? What are your top 3 goals that you want to achieve in 90 days? In 90 days. So I break it down to 90 days. You might have your yearly goals, you might have your 5-year goals, you have your 90-day goals, you have your 30-day goals, right? So as you implement your social media strategy, which is part of your marketing strategy, how do those activities that you take on social media line up with your business goals? How are you leveraging social media to help you get to your business goals? So 33% of marketers or business owners say that they have challenges tying their social media efforts into their business goals. And now also, last statistic, 10% of marketers say that they can quantify social media driven revenue. Only 10% of people can actually say that. Now that's huge. Okay. Why is that number so less? 10% of marketers could only say that they can quantify their media driven revenue. Okay. So what that says to me as I read these statistics, you know what? I need to hurry up and get this information out there. So as you start to, move forward, we are almost in 2018. I know I can't even believe it, but I know you guys are ready. I'm ready. Okay. But as we start to plan out our 2018, not only are we thinking about the things that we want to do in our business and we're thinking about social media, we also have to make sure that we have a way to measure what's working. So today I'm going to share with you 5 key areas that I'm going to encourage you for you to start to track and measure on a regular and consistent basis. Okay. And when I say a regular and consistent basis, sometimes you might want to take a look at these areas, your growth in these areas or your analytics in these areas, maybe once a week. But I'm also going to challenge you, to really take a look at them on a month by month basis. So you could come back and do it consistently. So you're able to come back, okay, and measure what's working, what's not working, and what you need to adjust. Okay. So if you, and there's a saying, and my mentor, one of my mentors, Shay Brown, he used to say it all the time: what gets measured gets managed. So I'm going to say that again. So if you're out there and you're listening, in the comment section, I want to make sure that you type this in: what gets measured gets managed. So if you aren't consistently focusing on measuring your data, taking a look at your analytics, it's going to be quite near impossible, okay, for you to manage it. So that's what today's live broadcast is all about. And I see that Sonia Michelle has jumped on. Welcome, Sonia Michelle. Thank you for jumping on and joining us this morning. Okay, so the first area that I would encourage you to take a look at would be your community growth. Okay, so what do I mean by your community growth? Take a look at your social media communities. So I know many of you out there, you have your Facebook business page, on a regular and consistent basis. What are you doing, to drive more traffic to your Facebook page? Or it might be your Twitter, or it might be LinkedIn. Or here's what's really hot right now: groups, okay? And I love Facebook groups. I love my Social Media Saturdays community, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? There's, a whole sea of people who are out there on social media. What I absolutely love about groups is groups gives you the opportunity to bring people together who are interested in a particular subject matter. And that way you have the ability to nurture, and work with people in your community. Okay. So like I said, I've been doing Social Media Saturdays now. Gosh, it has to be probably over 3 years that I've been nurturing the community. Okay. So one of the things that I'm always conscious about and I'm always focused on is how am I growing? What am I doing to grow my Social Media Saturdays community? Okay, and why is the growth to the community important? The growth to the community is important because this is a great way for you to create social proof. Okay, so being very strategic and being very focused on how you're growing your social media following gives you the ability to create that social proof, and it allows you to establish yourself as an authority. Okay, so you always want to be known in your niche as the go-to person. And I love this, and I say this all the time because it's another great way for you to bring your business to life. So now when people connect with you on social media, they don't just see the name of your business, they don't just see the logo, or your pretty imagery. You're able to bring your business, or you're able to bring your brand to life. Okay, so once again, it's very imperative that you start to focus on strategies to help you grow your social media community. And if you aren't if you don't have, a strategy directly to grow your social media community, I'm just going to give you a tip. Okay, start to really think and plan out investing in social media advertising. Okay, now investing social media advertising, and when you invest in social media advertising, make sure that you're doing it the right way. And when I say do it the right way, make sure that you are not just out there, going for the numbers. And that's a big question that I get all the time. Okay. So people are out there, they want to look big, they want to get the numbers. Okay. But are you really strategically getting in front of your ideal clients? So as you go ahead and you start to ramp up your social media marketing plan for 2018, please consider, having some paid advertising in there so you could specifically target your ideal clients. Okay. All right. So the second metric that you want to measure on social media, you want to take a look at your impressions, and you want to take a look at your reach. Now, I know that you have probably by now, heard of these two terms, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard them. I see them all the time. But what in the world do they actually mean? Okay. And a lot of times people see them, they hear about impressions, they hear about reach. Not only do they not know what they mean, right? But they don't know how to apply it. So I find that impressions and reach usually don't get, the kind of attention that they need. Okay. So what are impressions? Oh, let me start with reach first. So what is the reach? Okay, so reach, when we talk about reach on your social media, your reach is the amount of people who are able to see your content. So of course, as you post content, you want to make sure that you're posting content that would allow you to get a great reach. Okay, so you want more people to be able to see your content. So that's the reach. When we talk about reach, reach is how many people your content is reaching. And now when we talk about impressions, impressions are the amount of time that people see your content. And please forgive me, I'm smiling because Royal, which is the family pet, she is coming to join me on social media Saturdays. Good morning, Royal. Okay, so Royal is just getting up. She's a late sleeper. So hopefully she does not jump up on me for social media Saturdays. Okay, but Royal is absolutely amazing. All right. Okay, I just love Royal. She licks me all the time. It's just funny. Okay, so back to reach and impression. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are also tracking your reach and tracking your impressions. Justin, can you come and put her outside for me, please? I think she wants to go out. Okay, so why are impressions and reach important? Impressions and reach are important because if you don't know how many people is actually seeing your content, then you have no how much engagement your content will be able to generate. So let me say that again. Okay, so it's different if you are out there and you're posting content. Maybe you posted a nice infographic. We're just going to go with the infographic, right? And you share an infographic and you see that that infographic has had a reach of 100 people. And out of that 100 people, right, 10 people like the infographic. So you say, wow, that's a 10%, engagement. Woohoo, right? Or it might be 50% engagement. But take a look at how that number flips, okay? That number flips if your reach now is 1,000, okay? And you've only had 10 people, or 50 people, who have seen your content, engage with your content, okay? So it kind of changes the scope for you, and your metrics and the data on how you're measuring things, okay? So make sure that you are tracking your impressions, and you want to make sure that you are tracking your reach and knowing how it actually fits into your marketing, okay? All right, because once again, those are the metrics that you need that would allow you to tell you how well your content is performing. All right, so the third metric that you should be taking a look at is engagement. And I started off the broadcast talking about your engagements, and found a nice little quote this week, and I said it earlier, engagement is Facebook's currency. So this is what Facebook is tracking. Facebook is tracking, as we put out our content out there, what is the user experience? Okay, so Facebook isn't looking at us as marketers and wondering about our experience. They're wondering about their users, their 1.89 billion people, okay, that they have on Facebook. What's their experience with Facebook? Okay, and so believe you me, they are tracking all of this stuff. So they want their users to make sure that they have a pleasurable experience when they get onto this social media site. Okay, so if they're noticing, once again, that content is being posted and people aren't really interacting and engaging with the content, then what Facebook is going to do, they're going to suppress, that content. They're saying, we're not going to open this content up, to a lot of people because really it's not engaging. It's not what people want to see. Now, on the flip side of the coin, once you share content and that content is getting a lot of love, is getting a lot of reactions. Like I said, people are using the hearts, they're using the likes, they're giving you the smiley faces. Hopefully you're not having any of those angry faces because like I mentioned, Facebook tracks that as well too. Okay, Facebook says, hey, people are really liking, they're commenting, they're sharing out, this information to their network. Okay, so this must be a hot topic. This must be something, that people are really interested in seeing and they want more of it. So therefore, they're going to go ahead and open up that content to more people. So what engagements also help you do is extend your reach. Okay, so the more people that you have commenting, liking, sharing, giving you reactions, okay, it helps you extend the reach of your content. Okay, but one of the things, to make sure is you don't want to use that as the overall indicator or let that be the only thing that you measure on social media. But it's also a great way for you to track to let you know that if your content strategy is really working. And I see that Mr. Murray just jumped on. So thank you, Mr. Murray, for joining us this morning. All right. Now, the fourth metric that you definitely want to make sure that you are tracking, you want to make sure that you are tracking your website visits. Okay. Now you're saying, I know you're probably scratching your head and you're saying to yourself, well, oh my gosh, Taria, we're talking about social media. How did you get all the way over, okay, to the website? Well, this is what I want to share with you. Your website visits will actually be the indicator to tell you that if your social media is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so is your social media effectively attracting people to your brand? okay? And encouraging people to find out more information about you and what you do in your business. Okay, so hopefully, for those people who are on here and you're joining Social Media Saturdays for the very first time, okay, and you said, wow, that was really hot, that was really interesting, how can I connect more with Social Media Saturdays? Then we'll go and check out our website, right? And if you have never been to our website, it's socialmediasaturdays.net, okay? But that's the whole purpose, of your social media. It's supposed to be able to drive traffic, back to your website. So some of you might have products and services, or it might be your landing pages, or it might be your sales pages, or those things could even be housed on your website. And you also want to track which particular pages people are visiting on your website. Okay, so very, very important and crucial for you to use a service like Google Analytics. Okay, so if you have not set up a Google Analytics account, you want to make sure that you have that. If you're using WordPress, I know WordPress gives you the ability to put a plugin, a Google Analytics plugin on your WordPress site, and it would actually track your website visits. And what I really love about Google Analytics is that it gives you data on your website visitors as well. Okay, so it's able to break down your demographic, so you could see people who are clicking on the site, age demographic, location demographics, things like that. So you definitely want to know what content they're engaging with in their website, on your website, which content on your website is getting the most engagement, or I should say which pages on your website is getting the most engagement. And that will give you an indicator that your audience, that's the type of information that your audience is looking for. So you need to put out more information like that, okay? And then last but not least, the fifth metric that you want to measure is you want to measure your conversions. So as we started the broadcast earlier this morning, I mentioned 10% of marketers are able to quantify their social media efforts, quantify their social media efforts, okay? Now, measuring your conversions is an absolutely wonderful place for you to start doing that. So you want to know when you put out your information on social media, are people actually following through? So once again, if you're promoting your product or your service and you have a landing page for your product and your services, how many people are not just seeing the information on social media and clicking the like button, clicking on the share button and leaving a comment, that's great. But you also want to make sure that they are taking action, that they're actually going to the link, okay, and then they're putting in the information, okay, or taking the required action that you want them to take. Now, I'm just going to share with you one of the things that, I do here, and I'm just going to give you a little behind the scenes secret, which is like a thank you for you guys joining me and hanging in here with me today, throughout all of the challenges. So one of the things that, as I started to do Facebook Lives, and I know video is hot, more people are doing videos, and they're turning to videos as a great way to deliver content and a great way to nurture their audience. But one of the things as a social media strategist, what I wanted to know is actually, how does it apply? How does it work? I did not want video content, at least for me and my brand, to be just another activity that I get on there and do, and there's no way for me to measure its effectiveness, okay? So I started to put a whole strategy around how I am going to promote my Facebook Lives, okay? So just a small little tip. One of the things that I do, to track how people are engaging with my live videos, even before my live videos start, okay, I'm able to bit.ly the link for the video, okay, and in bit.ly gives me the opportunity to see how many people are clicking on the link to get the reminder. Okay, so that's huge for me. So as I market and I promote the social media Saturdays, and I'm promoting several different ways, hint, hint, I'm giving you guys some juicy stuff. I'm promoting via email, I'm promoting via text, I'm promoting across all my other social media platforms. I want to know how effective, okay, it's being. Am I putting out stuff there that people are excited, they're happy about, and they want to see? And they tell me that by clicking, I want to get a reminder, okay, or to set the reminder. So once they set the reminder, that's the action that I want them to take. So it tells me that, you know what, this is a topic that people, want to know about, and they're definitely, they want to have a reminder so they don't miss it. They want to get on here on social media Saturdays, okay? And so once again, tracking your conversions, even if you're doing a webinar. So we talk about this all the time. You have webinars. One of the greatest strategies that you could do to promote your webinars is to use Facebook advertising, run ads, to the webinars. And a lot of times what people do, they run ads to the webinars, and the only thing that they're tracking is the clicks to the link. Okay, so they just want to know how many clicks they're getting on the link, and how much the link is costing them, how much it's costing them for people to click on the link. So they get really excited when they see the analytics come back that they're paying 10 cents per click, or you might pay 25 cents per click. Okay, which is great, awesome, but you also want to track your conversions. So of all those people who are actually landing on your webinar registration page, how many of them are following through with the action that you want them to take, which is registering for the webinar? That's considered a conversion, okay? Or even if you're selling a product, okay? How many people are actually purchasing your product through your ads? So definitely, if you have to ask me, measuring conversions is the strongest analytic that you can measure. You should be measuring on social media, but like the statistics show, only 10%, of people, who are out there using social media and doing advertising on social media platforms are able, to tie that metric directly back, to their results. Okay, so I hope that I provided some really great information, powerful information, easy things that you guys could start to pay attention to right away. Okay, so as you shift and we get ready to move into 2018, you'll be able to start 2018 on the right foot. Okay, so before I do the recap, I think I see that there are some comments out here, so bear with me. Let me just make sure that I'm not missing any questions. So I see that Mr. Murray has joined, and he says, hello family, welcome Mr. Murray. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining me today on this episode of Social Media Saturdays. Sonia Michelle is actually out there, and Diane Smith is out there. So if you have any questions in regards to the information that I shared with you on how and what to measure on social media, go ahead and type your questions or type your comments in the comment section below, okay? And I'm also going to check our group to make sure that I'm not missing any questions in the group this morning, any questions or any comments in the group this morning. Okay, alrighty. So if there are no questions, or if you just need a minute to get your questions in there, I'm going to do a brief recap. Okay, so the top social media metrics that you should be paying attention to would be number one, the growth of your community. So you want to make sure that you're tracking, and have a strategic plan on how you're growing your social media community. Number two, you also want to make sure that you're tracking your impressions and your reach. Now, once again, your reach is how far your content is going, how many people your content, is being exposed to, and your impressions is how many times people are able to see that content. So definitely great metrics for you to measure. Quite often, they're overlooked, but I just want to make sure that I bring it to your attention that you should be paying attention, okay, to that metric as well. You also want to take a look at your engagement. Like I said, engagement is Facebook's currency. That's how Facebook kind of tracks everything that's going on, okay? So engagement is like Facebook's money. So you want to make sure that you are putting out content out there that people are engaging with and you're paying attention to it, so you can provide more content like that as well. Metric number 4, you want to make sure that you are tracking your website visits. Okay, so how many people are actually going to your website and visiting your website, from social media. And then last but not least, you want to make sure that you are tracking your conversions. Okay, so that's the heavy hitter. 90% of people struggle with measuring conversions. Okay, so hopefully going forward now, you won't be in that 90% of people who are struggling to track conversions from their social media. Okay, so if any of you guys are out there, I don't think I see any additional questions. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wrap it up today. So once again, I thank you guys for just being patient. I know I had some technical issues. We started late, but thank you for jumping on, making the time to jump on and join me. Okay, so if any of you who are out there and you're watching and you would definitely like to have a conversation on what are some of the things that you need to put into place, okay, to get your 2018 off to an awesome start with your social media, I'm going to extend the invitation to have a 30-minute discovery session with me, okay? And you could have that discovery session by simply going to www.meetwithtarea.com. So once again, that's www.meetwithtarea.com. And I know that Colette is out there. I'll make sure that she posts the link, for me. And because I want to know where you are, where you stand with your social media. What are some of the things that you are, hoping to implement, in your business, your goals, and how we could use social media to help you achieve those goals. So I am looking forward to being able to talk with you a little bit further about what you could do to up ramp your social media and get ready for 2018. Okay, so with that being said, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you on the next Social Media Saturdays. Thank you.